Three, two, one. Welcome to the SaaS Pulse Show. My name is Michael Bertoni, and I'm the founder and CEO of SaaS Talent. And unbelievably excited today. I love it when we have an awesome woman, CEO, founder on the show, right? Because again, the industry as we know it, a lot of men in the industry, but there are so many more women. So I've done so many of these podcasts with awesome women, and I love it. I've got two girls that are both 12 and 11 years old. I would love for them to found their own tech company. It would be unbelievable. So let me introduce everyone to Monica Gauba. She is the founder CEO of SureRev.ai, the first and only system for defining and deploying go-to-market strategy and messaging at scale. So it's great to have you on the show.
Thanks, Michael. This is exciting.
Yeah, it's fun. We like to have fun with this. It's awesome. So what I always love to dive into first is the superhero backstory, right? So I saw your background. I saw some of the things that you were doing in the past, but what led you to SureRev? So what was your journey and your background that led you to SureRev?
Sure, yeah. So, I haven't hesitated to change my career trajectory over the last 20 plus years I've been working. And I think that's been super helpful in sort of experiencing all the different functions and gaining a different perspectives, which has led me and given me the confidence to start my career, my startup today. Started off as an engineer. I have an undergrad degree in comp science, worked for some Boston area companies. Moved into management consulting soon after, and the early days of e-commerce, and learned tremendously in that space and appreciated sort of the strategic mindset you bring to clients and managing stakeholders and managing different projects. Traveled a great deal across the country as well as abroad, interacting with different clients. And then decided to get my MBA. Went to a local college here, Babson, was known for their entrepreneurship MBA.
Sure.
And decided to switch careers over to product management because I thought I could bring my management and technology experience together in that space. Worked for different B2B verticals in the Boston area, learning to bring products to market and developing products. And dabbled with AI very early in the day, back in, I think, 2012 or 2014, set up data science teams in one of the companies I worked for, and learned to appreciate what AI could do then and then in the future. So that sort of laid my foundations in AI and got me the technical chops to work on AI. Along the way, in the days when Uber and Airbnb were happening and all peer-to-peer commerce was the hot thing, I started my own peer-to-peer marketplace for events.
Nice.
And did that for about 4 years or so, as successful as I would call it, profitable. And then went back, for personal reasons, went back into the corporate world and worked for a few more SaaS companies. And by that time, as the career trajectory progressed, I learned to appreciate that go-to-market was a thing, and how important go-to-market was to get products successful. And I also saw that it was getting easier and easier to get products done because of the tools, technologies, processes, and that much harder to get the go-to-market done.
Totally.
So that's my journey. I always embrace the entrepreneurial mindset. Product management naturally lets you be that, wear that entrepreneur hat all the time. And, that's what led me to SureRev. About a year and a half ago, we all know how OpenAI opened the doors with Gen AI. And given the problems that I was seeing in the go-to-market space and aligning teams and aligning processes, I saw an opportunity to do that, to streamline teams and streamline the go-to-market processes with Gen AI. So that led me to the SureRev.ai concept.
Nice. That's so awesome. And I couldn't agree with you more, Monica, about it is easy to build products. It is hard to sell them. It's become a lot easier to build an MVP with all the technologies, all the either low code or no code tech out there, to build an MVP with your features and functionality you're looking for, but then to get it out, to sell it, to go to market, to become relevant, so somebody can care, right? So we got to get people to care. So I'm really excited about this product, SureRev, because I work with SaaS companies, and most of my clients, they have this problem, right? They have this exact problem with go to market. So when did the idea germinate? So what was the inspiration, would you say, around this product, and where did the idea germinate?
The idea germinated looking at my experiences, right, in the last 4 or 5 years. Work with great teams over the years. And I work with fantastic sales teams, fantastic marketing teams, fantastic product teams, invested in tech to get the products done.
Yeah.
But I felt sitting as a product leader, I always felt there was no alignment on a go-to-market strategy. And what does it mean to have a go-to-market strategy? Because you can really boil the ocean when defining what is a strategy, but what are the essential pieces that everybody on your go-to-market team must know? And looking back at my MBA school, we were taught this. And back in the consulting days, we used this, but somehow it was not coming together when we were working together in these SaaS companies. So that was my inspiration, that this is something so essential, something so foundational, and nobody seems to be providing this as a service. Of course, consultants do this all the time. So you have these one-off consultants, but the need was so great that I felt that we needed to sort of break down the barriers and produce a platform that made it easy for companies to succeed. And then I dabbled around with OpenAI and Gen AI, and I said, I think there is something we can do here we can build a strategy platform leveraging what is possible with AI. You can analyze data, you can ask it to do stuff for you. And so I married what I've done along this in the last 20 years, married the opportunity with the technology, and did some initial concept testing. And I think the feasibility was there. And I said, it's time to build this product.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I've been working with SaaS companies and tech companies for actually 24 years, exclusively focused with SaaS in the last 10, and basically getting everybody on the same page. Not only just have a go-to-market, but getting all groups and all people aligned to that go-to-market strategy. So I'm interested to hear about what this product is all about, because I think it is amazing. So let's get into it a little bit. So the elevator pitch, right? So the elevator pitch, the product, give the audience a quick overview of what that looks like.
Essentially, my vision is to build a go-to-market operating system for go-to-market teams, where everybody comes together to first define the strategy and then deploy it across the teams. And by deploying, you mean that you have an ICP that's actionable. You have a product value proposition that's actionable. You have a product positioning and messaging that is actionable. And all of these are interconnected, right? There's an ICP, there's a positioning, there's a differentiation, product value. They all have to work together. And you're putting an operating system for someone to describe the business and get this as an output. And once you have this, a lot of the downstream marketing and sales activities are automated for you.
Wow.
So the messaging, you can imagine, if you know the essentials of your customer and your product, how hard is messaging, right? And you can do that at scale for whichever channel you're going after, whichever persona you're going after. So what teams can come here and do is they can define their ICP, define the product positioning, define their messaging, and then they can go out. They can all be on the same page. They can go execute. And downstream, or a few months from now, you'll be able to monitor your results and then be able to iterate on it. So we also provide the same concept you have in product development to iterate on your product. You can iterate on your strategy and see how that strategy is evolving. So essentially, I call it, in a nutshell, and it's a go-to-market operating system that everybody must have, and it's all AI driven. It's AI driven, but with obviously with the human in control.
Nice. And who is your ICP right now? So who are you? So for people listening to this right now, I always love it when I hear that, hey, somebody reached out to me and gave me a lead, right? So who is your ICP? So who are you selling to? And, what's the specific value to them?
I think I have honed in on the product marketer. So the head of product marketing must be the owner of this go-to-market strategy. So I've centered on them. Now, product marketers can sit in different, they're in different places in the org chart. But I think it's a product marketer who really needs to align the go-to-market team on who's the customer, what's the product, what's our positioning given the competitive landscape, what's my primary message. So I am zeroing on them to leverage this product.
In any particular industries? I mean, so is it SaaS? Is it like e-commerce? Is it
It's
retail?
it's targeted towards B2B tech right now.
Okay.
Small to mid-market is my niche right now. But I think that's where the biggest value is.
So let's get into the product a little bit. So just give me an overview of how the product works, right? So a little bit of, is there competition out there? I don't know if there is, right? I know there's consultants that come in and do this, like management consulting companies that come in, they do this. I mean, everybody needs what you're talking about, right? So every industry probably needs it. But what does the product do? Like specifically, can you give an explanation of what the product does a little bit?
Sure, yeah. So what the product does is it'll ask you the one thing that I think everybody must agree on is what is the problem in the market that you're solving. Once you tell the product, the platform, this is the problem that we want to solve, it will gather all the market information for you and present it to you and say, you're solving this problem. This is the market landscape around this problem.
Nice.
It will present to you what are your potential ICPs. It will recommend an ICP to you as well. And then it will ask you a few more questions around you can supply it you can provide additional documentation, or you can just tell it what is the core features of your product, or what is the product value prop. It can even assess and recommend that if you give it a very high level description. So it'll come back and give you some core functionality that must be in place for the problem that you're trying to solve. Because of my domain knowledge in this space, and I have done product positioning for years, I leverage my domain expertise to describe, given the market landscape, given what you're building, this is your potential positioning in this market, or can be. And then, the human is always in control. You can adjust the positioning. You can test out the different positioning statements that you like. But the AI is there, and it's recommending to you that given what you've told me and what I see in the market, this is your recommended positioning and your recommended messaging. Once all these pieces are there, and you want to create an email out of it, or you want to create a product landing page, or you want to create a LinkedIn post, you have all the necessary information now to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's really cool, I think there's an amazing opportunity, Monica. I thought I saw you might have been connected to like Adam Robinson or like retention.com, or like there's the go-to-market strategies specifically have been rapidly changing over the years, right?
Yeah.
Adam gets all his, LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn in a huge way. I'm trying to figure out how to use LinkedIn better all the time too, to generate leads.
Yeah.
Sometimes other people are email marketing. Sometimes other people are still blogging. You have SEO. I've got this one client, Monica. They tell me they get 90 leads, inbound leads. I'm like, my head, I just want to shoot. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I got 90 inbound leads. Right. So I think there's tremendous opportunity for go-to-market. Like, how are we doing this? Like, how can the AI specifically give, hey, based on your use case and what you're explaining to me, here's SEO, here's how you would do it, right? Here's LinkedIn, here's how you would do it. Here's YouTube, here's how you do it. Like, so there's so much opportunity there. Like I think because go to market has changed so much in the last few years
Yes.
with TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. And so how does it work there? I'm curious.
Right. So the companies like, the that you're talking about, I think they provide you the data to sort of get the signals from the market, right? So somebody's coming on your website, you can de-anonymize that signal, and then you can go message them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all fine, right? And I think there are tons of companies who provide various kinds of signals, and they're all doing a great job at that. What I am coming at, and I would love to, I see an opportunity to integrate with these companies, right? What I'm starting a little bit more upstream. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying you need to capture these signals. Great. How do you know what signals to capture and what is important to you?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know to build the right product,
Right.
right? And
Right.
and in order to, and how do you position the product, right? There is a lot of confusion. There's tons of messages that I've seen over the last couple of months on what is positioning, what is messaging. And I think my product can help make that clear, right?
Okay.
Right? It'll tell you who your customer is. In the context of that customer, this is your positioning. This is your primary message to the market. And
Mm-hmm.
then, and these are the signals that you must capture because you're going after these ICPs. So
Right.
let's say for my ICP, I care about freshly funded companies, right? So now I go after those signals and capture those uh, uh, type of customers. And then I can create, with the help of my platform, create the right message for those particular customers. So it just connects the dots. I think the connection of the dots and what needs to be done upstream and what needs to be downstream is missing.
Yeah.
Um,
I totally agree. I mean, I think people don't know how to do what you're proposing, they're not doing right. But then once they figure that out, what I find it's like, how am I going to where am I going to go to get the lead?
yes.
Like, where am I? Should I just do everything? Should I just throw everything against the wall? So definitely love to talk about this with you more, even see your product, because I'm trying to figure this out myself and my clients are. But getting into challenges. So you look like you've been doing this for a few years now, right? The product's out in the market, I'm assuming. What have been your biggest challenges? So what have been the biggest challenges you faced and how are you overcoming them?
I think it's like any other product, right? We all love to get to a product market fit. And what that means is people love your product so much that they are become a repeat user. So my initial V1 of the product, I put a framework together and people loved that framework. And they said, I wish I had this when I was at
Yes.
my last product marketing job.
Love it.
So you have to start small steps, right? I built the framework, I tested out the AI, and now given all that initial feedback, I'm building the experience that they have asked me to build for them. Meaning
Nice.
I put in AI agents to do X, Y, and Z such that there is it's all automated and less hand typing and so on. So it's typical with any product challenge that you've honed in on the right problem. People get excited to talk about the problem. They get excited about the framework. Now it's about delivering the right experience, both the UX experience as well as the automation that I need to build in.
So I got it. So what I'm hearing, and tell me if I'm correct here, you have this amazing go-to-market framework that you tested it. It's now in the platform so somebody can onboard into it using AI, right? Using AI to help answer the questions, help get the information, right? Like this doesn't exist. You got to hire a consultant or hire like a GTM specialist that costs like $150,000 a year or more, right? Buy your product, you could get initially going, right?
Yes.
That's what it sounds like, right? So again, I'm helping you here. Come on. Instead of hiring the $150 to $250,000 person or hourly, get Monica's product and just get your go-to-market built, right?
Yes.
And then figure it out from there. So
that is correct. That is it lowers it lowers the barrier for getting your strategy done, right? Because
yeah.
instead of hiring a strategy consultant, you can leverage this product to get it done.
Yeah. I mean, and what's happening with AI, what I see is AI assist. So you're a founder, you're a co-founder, you're a solopreneur, you're maybe even a CTO or whatever. And you're like, I need a GTM assist.
Yes.
Here you go. Monica from SureRev. Right. I mean, so that's what's happening. We're all going to have like assistants that help us with this gap. I don't know how to do this. I need an assistant. you're the GTM assistant, right? So I love it.
Yes, and like I said, I don't think I'm taking away the human away, but I am sort of making the definition of strategy very clear, and getting all that grunt work of competitive analysis, understanding the market, who's doing what, how does their ICP compare with my ICP, what is their unique selling proposition versus mine.
Yeah.
You don't need a person to do that. You just once you say, I have this problem, tell me who else is doing it and how do I position myself. That is an internet search that an agent can do.
Right. No, I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. So we got to get it in the hands of some of my customers. So
Right.
how do you approach talent and people? So in terms of your organization, how are you looking at talent? How are you looking at people? What's important to you in those areas?
Early stages talent is hugely important, right? As you can imagine, anybody you bring in shapes the product and takes the company helps me sort of take the company in the trajectory that I want, or maybe they take it in a different trajectory. So early stages really depend on partners and references,
Mm-hmm.
and really do my due diligence in vetting out the talent. It's hugely important, but I think it's important at any stage. At any stage in the company, you really want the talent, and the team is what makes or breaks the product. And having been in these cross-functional teams myself, I really have an appreciation for all the different functions that go into actually building the product and getting it out. But trusted partners, trusted advisors, that's the way I'm leaning on, right? That's how I'm leaning on. Of course, there are platforms like LinkedIn and so on, but this early stage, having good partners to give you recommendations and references is what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So it's been a great podcast. And last question here, I always like the advice, right? So you've been doing this for a long time. You've been in SaaS companies, you had your own companies, you have your own company. So a lot of people listening to this are solopreneurs, they're thinking about starting a company, that sort of thing, people watching. What are two or three biggest piece of advice that you would give them?
Think about go-to-market as you're thinking about building your product. Do not build products without thinking about
Think about
go-to-market.
me. It's like, it's your mind's like, think about me first. Then, no, I love it. I love it, Mom.
I mean, that's
It's
one
true.
reason I'm building it, because, I learned lessons about go-to-market in my first startup and then so if I had a product like this back then, maybe my trajectory would have been slightly different as well. So think about go-to-market, get your product concept and get to test it out as much as you can out there, even if it is initial bare bones and it's not automated like mine was. At least understand if you're after the right problem. And the third is build advisors who are willing to challenge your approach, tell you your product doesn't do X, Y, and Z, and you need to do something different. So I think that's always very helpful. And it's sometimes it's hard to swallow those pills, but they're so necessary. So those are my three.
Totally. So Monica, it was great having you on the show. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to following your journey. So everybody be sure to reach out to SureRev.ai, Monica Gauba, right? Again, the first and only system for defining and deploying go-to-market strategy and messaging at scale. So it's awesome stuff. Stick around for a minute or two. We'll debrief here, but awesome having you on the show.
Thanks, Michael. This was great.